As we head into 2026,
You're probably sitting there wondering when GPT-6 is dropping and whether you should even care about OpenAI's next moves. Well, I spent weeks diving into every official announcement, executive interview, and technical release from OpenAI, and here's what surprised me. GPT-6 isn't even the most exciting part of what's coming in the new year. The real game changer? It's something most people are completely missing. Welcome back to bitbias.ai, where we do the research so you don't have to. Join our community of AI enthusiasts with our free weekly newsletter. Click the link in the description below to subscribe. You will get the key AI news, tools, and learning resources to stay ahead. So in this video, I'm breaking down OpenAI's actual roadmap to 2026, based entirely on their official statements, not rumors or speculation. You'll discover what OpenAI is really working on, why GPT-6 is taking longer than you think, and most importantly, the 3 massive shifts happening right now that will completely change how you use AI. First up, let's talk about where GPT-6 actually stands, because what Sam Altman said in December 2025 might shock you. GPT-6, the timeline. Everyone gets wrong. Here's what everyone wants to know. When is GPT-6 coming? But here's where it gets interesting. In a December 2025 interview, Sam Altman made it crystal clear that GPT-6 is still some time away, with the next major upgrade expected in early 2026. But wait, that's not GPT-6. That's going to be another iteration of GPT-5, probably something like GPT-5.3 or beyond. Now think about that for a second. OpenAI is essentially saying GPT-6 won't arrive until well beyond 2026. Why? Because they've discovered something crucial. Altman himself noted that today's users are already satisfied with the intelligence level of the models. So instead of just making the AI smarter, OpenAI is pivoting to something that matters way more to you and me: usability, personalization, and how the AI actually integrates into our daily workflow. This is a fundamental shift in strategy. Let me put this in perspective. Historically, OpenAI has dropped major GPT upgrades roughly every 1 to 2 years. We got GPT-3 in 2020, GPT-4 with vision capabilities in 2023, then GPT-5 in mid-2025. Each leap significantly improved reasoning, coding abilities, and multimodal understanding. GPT-5 was described by OpenAI as a significant leap in intelligence, mastering advanced coding tasks, complex mathematics, and demonstrating richer comprehension of both text and images. But here's where the story takes a turn. When GPT 5.2 dropped in December 2025, the benchmarks told an incredible story. On professional knowledge work evaluations, GPT 5.2 jumped to 70.9% accuracy compared to roughly 39% for the original GPT-5. That's not incremental improvement. That's a massive performance leap. These models already far exceed GPT-4 and GPT-4o in virtually every category. So what does this mean for GPT-6? By 2026, OpenAI will keep pushing GPT-5 variants forward with deeper reasoning capabilities, longer context windows, finer real-world knowledge, and tighter alignment with human values. They're calling one of these developments GPT-5 thinking, which suggests enhanced reasoning chains. But GPT-6 itself, that's still cooking in the lab, and OpenAI is in no rush because they've realized something important that I'll explain in just a moment. The real revolution: ChatGPT's memory and personalization. Now let's talk about what's actually going to transform your daily AI experience in 2026, because this is where OpenAI's strategy gets really interesting. Beyond just raw intelligence upgrades, OpenAI's roadmap centers on making ChatGPT deeply personal. And when I say personal, I mean truly personal in a way that hasn't existed before. Here's the big idea. OpenAI is building ChatGPT to have persistent, opt-in memory, so it remembers almost everything about you. Sam Altman has been vocal about this vision of infinite, perfect memory, becoming ChatGPT's core advantage. Imagine this. The assistant recalls every past conversation, your personal preferences, documents you've shared, decisions you've made, and uses all that context to give genuinely helpful, tailored advice. Now, before you start worrying about privacy, this is entirely opt-in, and OpenAI is rolling it out carefully. By mid-2025, ChatGPT's memory feature was available to Plus users worldwide, allowing the system to remember information across conversations. But 2026 is when this gets turbocharged. We're talking longer memory spans, per project memory, so different aspects of your work stay organized, and selective memory management so you control exactly what the AI remembers. But wait, there's more to this personalization story. In late 2025, OpenAI added something subtle but powerful: tone and style controls in ChatGPT settings. You can now adjust whether your AI assistant is warm or formal, enthusiastic or restrained. It sounds simple, but think about what this enables. You could have your AI communicate professionally for work tasks, then switch to a more casual, friendly tone when you're brainstorming creative ideas or just chatting. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. Altman has talked openly about how as ChatGPT gains more emotional intelligence, people will naturally form relationships with their AI. OpenAI wants this to happen, but safely. They're building controls that let you decide how close you become with your AI, including options to connect personal data, like calendars or emails, if you want that level of integration. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is OpenAI's 2026 product roadmap. They're transforming ChatGPT from a smart chatbot into a personalized digital companion that actually understands your context, your preferences, and your needs over time. ChatGPT's app ecosystem. Your AI becomes a universal interface. Now, this next part will surprise you, because most people still think of ChatGPT as just a text box where you ask questions. But in December 2025, OpenAI launched something that changes everything: an app directory inside ChatGPT. Think about what this means. You can now browse approved apps and connectors that link ChatGPT directly to external services: spreadsheets, news databases, calendars, enterprise systems, productivity tools. ChatGPT is becoming a universal interface for your entire digital life. Instead of jumping between 10 different apps, you just tell ChatGPT what you need, and it coordinates across all your connected tools. Developers are already submitting custom apps for review, so third parties are building new capabilities that extend what ChatGPT can do. This is OpenAI's ecosystem play. They're positioning ChatGPT as the command center for how you interact with technology. And it doesn't stop there. OpenAI is rolling out automation features like tasks, which let you set up prompts that run automatically based on triggers. Updated voice modes that work seamlessly across all platforms. Improved image generation through DALL-E 3, which got a major fidelity upgrade in late 2025. The picture becomes clear. ChatGPT's evolution in 2026 emphasizes 3 pillars: personalization through memory and tone controls, tool integration through apps and connectors, and richer media through voice, images, and soon video. Each piece reinforces the others, creating an AI that doesn't just answer questions but actively helps you get things done across your entire workflow. This is the shift Altman was hinting at when he said, raw intelligence isn't the bottleneck anymore. Beyond text, Sora 2, Multimodal AI, and the physical world. All right, let's talk about where OpenAI is pushing the boundaries of what AI can actually do, because text generation is just the beginning. In late 2025, OpenAI dropped Sora 2, and if you haven't seen what this thing can do, you're in for a treat. Sora 2 is a text-to-video model, but calling it that undersells what's really happening here. This AI can generate longer, coherent video clips with realistic physics, dialogue, and sound. We're not talking about those janky AI videos from a couple years ago. Sora 2 understands object permanence and real-world dynamics. If a basketball misses the hoop, it rebounds properly instead of teleporting or glitching. The system models how the world actually works. OpenAI frames this as building a general world simulator. That's not marketing hype. They're training models to understand how physical reality functions so the AI can reason about cause and effect, spatial relationships, and temporal sequences. By 2026, we might see Sora-like tools integrated directly into ChatGPT or available through creative applications. Imagine describing a video concept and having it generated with accurate physics and coherent narrative. But here's where the story gets even more fascinating. OpenAI isn't just staying in software. In 2025, they quietly assembled a robotics team and started exploring partnerships with legendary designer Jony Ive to develop wearable AI devices. Altman has talked about his vision of a family of small AI devices, not just smartphones and laptops, but purpose-built tools that proactively assist you throughout your day. He mentioned ideas like a meeting helper that whispers reminders in your ear, or ambient AI devices that understand context without needing you to pull out your phone. This hardware push signals that OpenAI is preparing for what they call the embodied AI future, where artificial intelligence exists not just on screens, but in the physical environment around you. In robotics, OpenAI's models are already being used in research labs to guide robot control and decision-making. The new emphasis suggests much more to come. So OpenAI's product roadmap for 2026 includes better GPT models, obviously, but also major multimodal tools spanning vision, video, and audio, plus novel devices and robotics initiatives. It's a comprehensive push across every dimension of AI. The infrastructure behind it all, AMD partnership, and Microsoft alliance. Now let's talk about what makes all of this possible, because none of OpenAI's ambitious plans work without absolutely massive compute infrastructure. And in October 2025, OpenAI made a move that signals just how serious they are about scaling. They announced a 6-gigawatt GPU partnership with AMD. Let me put that in perspective. Under this multi-year deal, OpenAI will deploy AMD's latest Instinct accelerators, starting with 1 gigawatt in late 2026, to power its next-generation models. This deal even includes stock-based incentives for OpenAI. We're talking about a partnership designed to sustain OpenAI's trillion-dollar compute commitment for training future AI systems. But wait, AMD isn't OpenAI's only compute partner. Their closest collaborator remains Microsoft, and in January 2025, these two companies reaffirmed their strategic alliance in a major way. Microsoft continues to hold exclusive rights to OpenAI's models for its products like Copilot, and exclusively offers OpenAI's APIs through Azure. The companies also expanded their agreements with Microsoft, approving a multi-year Azure compute commitment later revealed to be $250 billion. Let that number sink in. $250 billion in compute infrastructure. That's what it takes to compete at the frontier of AI development. Microsoft also increased its ownership stake to about 27% at a $135 billion valuation. In late 2025, the partnership evolved further, with an updated agreement that preserves Microsoft's exclusive cloud status through AGI and extends its rights into post-AGI models, while granting OpenAI more freedom to collaborate with third parties and serve national security customers on any cloud. This is crucial for understanding OpenAI's 2026 strategy. Microsoft remains the key partner providing funding, Azure compute capacity, and distribution channels for GPT models in enterprise applications. But OpenAI also maintains flexibility to build partnerships like the AMD deal and work with other organizations when needed. Beyond tech giants, OpenAI is reaching into specific industries. They've signed deals with the U.S. Department of Energy, major financial institutions like BBVA, media organizations, and even entertainment companies like Disney to bring iconic characters into Sora video generation. In Europe, they partnered with Deutsche Telekom in December 2025 to extend AI services to millions of users. Sam Altman has stated that enterprise customers are now a top priority. OpenAI's API business grew faster than consumer ChatGPT in 2025, and 2026 will focus on giving companies custom GPT-powered products deeply integrated with their data. He predicts companies will connect their proprietary information to OpenAI's models just like individuals do, creating sticky, long-term relationships. In essence, OpenAI's 2026 roadmap involves deepening its enterprise footprint and building AI into industry and government at every level. Navigating the regulatory landscape, OpenAI's policy strategy. Here's something most people overlook when thinking about AI development, but it's absolutely critical to OpenAI's 2026 plans: regulation and policy. OpenAI isn't just building technology in a vacuum. They're actively shaping the rules that will govern AI's future. In March 2025, OpenAI submitted detailed recommendations to the White House's AI Action Plan. Their proposals emphasize what they call freedom-focused regulation. The core idea is preserving developers' ability to innovate while avoiding a patchwork of conflicting state laws. OpenAI argued that current AI models like GPT-4 and GPT-5 should face minimal new regulatory burdens, but that the government should be ready to coordinate on safety if AI enters a superintelligent phase. Their policy proposals cover multiple dimensions: export controls to promote democratic AI internationally, copyright frameworks that balance creators' rights with AI training needs, infrastructure investments in domestic chip and GPU production, and recommendations on how governments should adopt AI in public services. Essentially, OpenAI is lobbying for policies that maintain U.S. AI leadership while managing risks of misuse. Meanwhile, OpenAI is adapting to new regulations that are already coming online. Europe's AI Act is set to take effect in 2026, and OpenAI signed the EU's voluntary code of practice for general-purpose AI to align with these new rules. They report being ready to comply with EU deadlines and to work with regulators on implementation. OpenAI emphasizes that they already publish extensive safety documentation, system cards describing model capabilities and limitations, preparedness frameworks for managing risks, and external red teaming results where independent experts probe for weaknesses. They'll continue sharing these as regulations require. What's interesting is how OpenAI frames its mission. Their founding charter commits to ensuring AGI benefits all humanity and to conducting the research required to make AGI safe. They even pledged that if another well-aligned team nears AGI first, OpenAI would stop competing and assist them instead. That's a remarkable commitment that underscores a cooperative stance. So, OpenAI's strategy on governance is two-pronged. Advocate for sensible policy that minimizes friction now, while establishing strong safeguards for more advanced AI. And commit themselves to meeting emerging regulations while continuing open safety research. By 2026, expect OpenAI to be deeply engaged with governments and standards bodies in the US, EU, and elsewhere, helping set industry norms on accountability, transparency, and risk mitigation. Putting it all together, OpenAI's evolution and what it means for you. Let's step back and look at the bigger picture, because understanding OpenAI's trajectory helps explain where AI is heading overall. OpenAI has moved from being a non-profit research lab into an industry leader shaping AI's future. Early models like GPT-2 and GPT-3 from 2019 to 2020 were impressive, but narrow in scope. GPT-4 in 2023 brought breakthrough multimodal abilities combining text and images. GPT-5 in 2025 pushed into expert-level reasoning, advanced coding, health advice, and even audio-video integration through GPT-4o. By 2026, GPT-6 will continue that trajectory with enhanced contextual understanding and real-world reasoning, though the exact details remain under wraps. Meanwhile, OpenAI's business has scaled massively. Their initial research-only approach before 2019 gave way to billion-dollar investments. The Microsoft alliance that began in 2019 now includes exclusive cloud and API deals, plus that $250 billion Azure commitment. The shift to a public benefit corporation structure in late 2023 and the massive valuation exceeding $300 billion reflect how commercial OpenAI has become, even as they promise broad societal benefit. Partnerships like the AMD GPU deal mark a new level of infrastructure investment beyond just relying on Microsoft hardware. Each major milestone, whether it's GPT releases, the ChatGPT launch, or strategic partnerships, has expanded OpenAI's scope and impact. Comparing the past to 2026, we see consistent patterns. Bigger models with more capabilities. Broader media types from text to vision to video. More real-world deployment moving from consumer to enterprise. And increasingly active policy engagement with governments worldwide. What this means moving forward. By the end of 2025, OpenAI laid out a clear path for 2026 and beyond. Continued model upgrades with GPT-5 iterations leading toward an eventual GPT-6. Ever more capable ChatGPT features emphasizing memory, personalization, and tool integration. Expansion into new AI domains including multimodal capabilities and physical devices. Deepened industry partnerships across sectors. And all of this under a banner of safety, governance, and responsible development. What's crucial to understand is that almost everything I've covered here comes directly from OpenAI's official announcements and executive statements, not rumors or speculation. OpenAI's roadmap emphasizes steady, compounding progress rather than sudden revolutionary leaps. They're building AI tools that are more useful, more personalized, and more deeply integrated into daily life. Regulatory preparation and international coordination are official priorities, reflecting OpenAI's role in shaping AI policy at the highest levels. The company's 2026 strategy builds methodically on previous milestones, with each new model and initiative raising the bar on intelligence, deployment scale, and real-world impact. For anyone following AI development, understanding these official plans matters immensely. We're not just watching technology improve incrementally. We're witnessing the infrastructure, partnerships, and strategic positioning that will define AI's role in society for years to come. OpenAI's moves in 2026 will set the template for how AI companies balance innovation with responsibility, how they integrate AI into enterprises and governments, and how they navigate the complex regulatory environment emerging worldwide. The question isn't whether AI will transform how we work and live. That's already happening. The real question is how companies like OpenAI will manage that transformation responsibly while maintaining competitive advantage. Based on their 2026 roadmap, OpenAI is betting on personalization, integration, and safety as the winning formula. Whether that bet pays off will shape the entire AI industry's trajectory. If you found this breakdown valuable, let me know in the comments what aspect of OpenAI's strategy interests you most. Are you more excited about the memory and personalization features, the multimodal capabilities, or the enterprise integrations? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to stay updated on AI developments with this level of detail, make sure you're subscribed because I'll be covering every major move in this space as it happens.